Okay, welcome everybody. Continuing with our 2024 CMS HCC changes. HCCs are changing completely, and we are continuing to take a look. Just a quick reminder, please feel free to use the Discuss tab. Okay, it's highlighted in yellow up here. So if you have anything to contribute or any questions or whatever, please feel free to use that. When you first log into the course, it defaults to the path, which is all the course materials. But if you just look over to the right, there's a Discuss tab, and we encourage you to use it. And this used to be 3 slides. I made it 1, but we are monitoring the No Unreasonable Payments, Coding, or Diagnoses for the Elderly Act, or the No Up Code Act. This is a bill that was introduced to Congress in late March, and you can see it's proposing exclusion of diagnoses collected from chart reviews, which is what 95% of risk adjustment coders do. So we're monitoring that, and before anybody hits the panic button, if that were to occur, I have a very workable solution for anybody who's interested. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Just a quick reminder about blended models. So, I'm not going to go over, the full, if you've been, if you've made it to this point in the program, you've heard me talk about the blended model. Just remember, you will continue to capture anything from V24 that you were capturing before. The difference now at this moment is you must be capturing anything new in V28. And let me put an asterisk with that. Make sure you're following your organizational guidelines and instructions, okay? What I'm saying is, standard, industry best practices, but I'm not the be-all, end-all. Your organization's instructions are always what you should be following. So, one of the reasons we're doing this is so the, twofold, well, manyfold, but one, that you are picking up new diagnoses and that you are starting to train your mind for diagnosis that'll be going away. So let's get to it. My screen's not advancing. Okay. So we're going to be talking about the psychiatric disease group. In V24, the psychiatric condition category had 4 HCCs. And in V28, we're moving to 5 HCCs. Big difference in codes. We're losing approximately 2,000 codes overall, and you can see about 400 of them are right here. And so let's take a look. There are no codes transferred from other HCCs. As you may have noticed by this point, many of the codes transferred into condition categories are from the transplant, and so psychiatric would obviously not, that wouldn't apply here. So there's no codes being transferred in. There are no codes being transferred out to other HCCs. Okay, so the changes are now new codes that were not previously included, anorexia and bulimia. Okay, so, and, it's interesting, anorexia nervosa unspecified, there is a common thread throughout a lot of these changes where a lot of unspecified codes are going away, but here we're introducing an unspecified code. But we got 4 codes: anorexia nervosa unspecified, anorexia nervosa restricting type, anorexia nervosa binge eating purging type, and bulimia nervosa. So these are the 4 codes. that you should be picking up if you see them. And again, check with your organization, make sure. So codes deleted. I didn't put them on a slide here because they're too numerous. So let's go take a look. Okay, so this PDF will be in the course materials. You can see there's 11 pages of deleted codes. Okay. So major depressive disorder, okay, is and bipolar. A lot of these major depressive disorder, bipolar, suicide attempt, poisoning. Okay. So this is a very large number of codes. So this is a document you're going to want to download, and to expect yourself to grasp this overnight, on the change date after the blended model ends, is not reasonable. So you'll want to review this on a regular basis to start training your brain. This is a significant number of codes that are going to be going away. Okay, so poisoning. Okay, let's see how many. Poisoning, toxic effect, asphyxiation, intentional self-harm. Okay, so so again, one of the tricks to doing to managing some of these changes is training your mind to some keywords. And so here, although it's 11 pages, if we look at poisoning, toxic effect, asphyxiation, intentional self-harm, okay, there's 4 keywords that can clue you into nearly 400 of these codes. So so hopefully that'll be helpful in making the transition. And so let's move on to codes remaining. And again, because of the sheer volume, I didn't put them on a slide here. So let's go to the PDF, which again will be in with the recording in the system. And nine pages of codes remaining. Okay, now these are remaining codes, or the 4 added are in here as well. So not too much to remember or mindset change. These are what you've been picking up before. So not a lot of brain change here. The one difference would be the 4 codes, the 3 anorexia and the 1 bulimia are in here. But this is just a handy list of the codes that are remaining. Okay, so I'm just going to go back over here to this tab. It's the removed codes that you're going to have to train your brain on. Okay, the other part, maybe the handy part of this list is the HCC number changes. So paranoid schizophrenia was HCC 57. Now it's going to be HCC 151. So 9 pages, 400 and something codes. And this is as I said, the psychiatric. And I'm trying, my Zoom is acting funny here. But this is the psychiatric condition category. And let's go back to the slides here. So again, 4 new codes that impact current code capture. Okay, so that's not overwhelming. 4 new codes that you should be picking up. 3 have the same verbiage of anorexia, 1 bulimia. And then once the blended model ends, this one's a whopper. This is about 20% of the reduction in codes. 20% are right here. So once the blended model ends, 425 less codes. And so again, you want to start training your brain. And one of the ways you can train your brain is, there's 4 or 5 keywords that you can start to, assimilate in your mindset to double check on the eve of or after the change date. So, do we have any questions? And if you want to articulate your question, you are more than welcome to. If you want to type it in the chat, you can do that. Does anybody have anything? Can I get a Y, Y in chat if you can hear me? I just I always get nervous when I hear nothing or see nothing. Can somebody type Y for yes if you can hear me?
Well, I can hear you.
Oh, wonderful! Thank you.
And I don't have any questions, but I guess when I think about why they're taking away some of these HCCs, some of them make sense, but the depression, especially the suicide attempts, like, the intentional self-harm stuff, is it because it's not chronic?
I mean, that's as much of a head scratch, like that particular one, especially is as much of a head scratcher for me as it is for you. I mean, look, let's call a spade here. I think one of the motivations, here is to cut costs, to save money, from the Medicare program. I guess I can stomach that, but the major depressive disorder, I mean, that is, no, that's very chronic. I mean, how many people do you know that, I don't know if you've ever known anybody with, a condition such as, depression or whatever. It's, it doesn't go away. It's managed, I think, one of the things that I think many people suffer from that maybe we just don't talk about, and I suffer from it, is anxiety, and, to some degree, I think we all suffer from anxiety, which is, in that same category. And so if you remember when the first time you realized you had anxiety it was probably at a very young age, and I'm 55 and I can remember suffering from anxiety as a 4 or 5-year-old. And now, decades later, I still suffer from anxiety. So it doesn't go away. And, of course, major depressive disorder is much more significant issue. So yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I don't get it.
The depressions and anxieties, those are definitely lifelong conditions. I mean, everybody and there's a huge genetic component. Everybody in my family is crazy as a loon. And so we all have some kind of treatment.
If it makes you feel any better, same here.
Right. I think I meant the suicide, though. Those do tend to be more acute, but even I mean, like took away the intentional harm by laying in front of a train. Okay, maybe that's just not seen very often, but it seems like that would be a serious enough condition. So I get that I feel like they're kind of punishing us for so many years of upcoding and wrong coding with all the acute MIs in the outpatient setting and just all the stuff coders have been doing wrong for almost 8 years now. But I don't understand some of these at all, except that, again, I don't know. I mean, patients who take antidepressants, they're seen 4 times a year minimum. So
Yeah.
this one
Oh,
I just don't get.
I mean, I couldn't agree with you more. And then what really kills me, and if you go back and look at the session that was not live that I recorded for the substance use, they added I think it was 26 substance use codes for newborns. Now, I've been in risk adjustment since the beginning. Okay, I have coded hundreds of thousands. I've abstracted hundreds of thousands of charts, specifically in risk adjustment, and I do not recall ever seeing a newborn chart. So it is possible for a newborn to be covered by Medicare from birth. That is a possibility. It's rare, super rare, but it's possible. And then then they would be covered by Part A and or B, and then the child would have to be moved into the Medicare Advantage, by election, by the guardian or whatever. And so there's over 100 newborn codes being added in here, which I just see as smoke and mirrors. I just see it as smoke and mirrors maybe reduce the appearance of even further attrition of codes. But I mean, if you go back and watch the substance use, I mean, there's 26. Yeah, okay. If a fetus is, if there's a fetus of somebody who's, using, abusing, dependent on a substance, that fetus, when that newborn may have some effects or dependency or whatever. But again, in 20 years, I can't recall ever coding a newborn chart in risk adjustment. Now I may have, but I just don't remember. But if
Doug,
I have, I mean,
did they take away? Because I haven't had a chance to listen to that, and thank you for the heads up. Did they take away the code for just opioid dependence? Because that is a code that's frequently miscoded. So I wonder if this is one of those things where they're going to take away something that gets miscoded a lot to stop overpaying, and then replace it again with these newborn codes to make it look like they're balancing.
Let me see here. Let's see.
Because doctors are constantly noting that a patient is opioid dependent when they're on chronic pain medication, and that doesn't meet the cage and all of those requirements to capture opioid dependence. And so that's a frequent error. And so I just wonder if they took that away like they're doing with some of the others.
No. And not to play spoiler, but there were 20 codes deleted. Alcohol abuse and cannabis abuse were, both are related to alcohol and cannabis. Okay. And it's not all the alcohol abuse and cannabis abuse. It was again the unspecified, the uncomplicated, and a couple another key words, but no, if I remember correctly, and let me just take a quick look. Opioid abuse, it remains intact. Okay. Which again, now you brought up two very valid points. So why did opioid abuse stay, right? And why is MDD gone? I mean, it's again, I get it. I get that they're trying to save money, in the Medicare program. But and I mean, if again, we're sitting here as coders. I mean, during the comment period, big organizations like United Health and Anthem and all Humana, all these, Aetna, you know, they have the opportunity. I mean, actually, we have the opportunity too, but they have a bigger, louder voice. You know, they had the ability. You know, that's why they do the advance notice before the announcement, so that people can comment and see if they can sway CMS. You know, yeah, I mean, it's a head scratcher for me just as much as it is for you. You know, to me, it doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense. You know, so.
I agree. Thank you.
And what, we're only about halfway through. I'm sure there's going to be some other shockers. You know, like, so just in contrast, you know, I think the movement of a lot of these transplant codes to the appropriate body, you know, organ system or disease group, like, that makes perfect sense to me. I'm like, why didn't they do that from the beginning? You know, that's a move that makes perfect sense, you know. Others are just, and this whole, I mean, the introduction of all these newborn codes, you know, if this was HHS, you know, that, I mean, they already exist in HHS because it's different, you know, different age population, but the newborn, the addition of these newborn codes, you know, and there's over 100 of them. It just doesn't make any sense to me, you know. So, but you know, what can we do? We're just the soldiers here. We're not the generals. So, but thank you for your comments and, you know, your discussion. That's candid and appreciated. So, anybody else? Okay, so we will see you in the next session. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.